This isn't going to be a dragged out 12-minute and 5-second long video with a 3-minute ad sponsor in between. This is going to be my no BS guide on how to become a well-rounded student who takes pride in their appearance, has a strong friendship circle, amazing grades, and most importantly, is happy with their life. First thing, appearance. This isn't about having amazing genetics or becoming a model. It's simply about reaching our genetic potential. And the first thing that you have complete and utter control over is your posture. And especially head posture, this is something that I've overlooked for the longest time. And it wasn't until I started seeing photos of myself, like hunched over, ugly look, that I actually start to care about it. And it's because of the technology that we're just doing this all day. Now, to fix this forward head posture, there's like a million different stretches online. But realistically, there's only 2 steps that I found useful, just to strengthen the muscles in the upper back and the neck. So we want to strengthen them just like any other muscle, like abs or biceps. And here's an exercise routine that I've been following from a well-known fitness YouTuber, which has brought me great results. And the second thing you have complete control over is tongue posture. Now, this sounds a bit weird, and for the longest time, I didn't really care about this as well, but that was one of the biggest mistakes that I've made. And this is because proper tongue posture is extremely important. And this is where you want as much of your tongue to be touching the roof of your mouth as possible. And this is good because it forces you to breathe through your nose, and what we don't want is to breathe through our mouths. Because here's what people look like when they have bad tongue posture and they breathe from their mouths, and here's what people look like when they have good tongue posture and they breathe through their nose. So for the longest time, I was always a mouth breather. I always had a lot of allergies, and so my nose was always blocked, so I breathe through my mouth. And as a result, I had a really weak jawline. And so to reverse that, I had to always remind myself to consciously breathe through my nose. And I've been doing this for 2 years, and I definitely don't have the best jawline genetics, but I've definitely seen some differences. And here's a detailed step-by-step plan on how you can integrate mewing into your daily routine. Now, let's talk about skincare, physique, and basically the rest of your body. So recently I was being a dumbass and I accidentally scraped the head of my car, and it cut pretty deep, so it cut into like the metal. And so I went to the store trying to find some paint to cover it up. But when I spoke to the guy selling the paint, he was like, "Look, my friend, the paint may cover the appearance and may make it look better, but the metal underneath is still gonna rust and degrade over time." And I was like, oh wait, that's kind of similar to skincare. Obviously, I didn't say that to him. And just using skincare as an example, all these YouTubers try to sell you some overpriced $50 cream that only takes $2 to make in China, and they sell this as the only solution. When in reality, this may improve the appearance of your face, but it doesn't address the underlying issues, which is your lifestyle. Like last year, I was sleeping at 3 a.m., eating pizzas every day, drinking, not changing my pillowcase frequently, drinking no water, and I was wondering why I was breaking out. Like crazy, right? And now, having cut all those lifestyle choices out, my skin has slowly recovered. So your skin, and more broadly how you look, is just a reflection of your lifestyle. Now, there's gonna be some guy in the comments going, well, but what about genetics? And sure, it plays a role, but as you saw with my jawline example, you can still make progress even when you have bad genetics. Genetics and prescribed medicines are only an excuse once you've optimized everything in your lifestyle. Until then, it's just cope. And I'm only saying this because I used to struggle a lot with these good lifestyle habits, like maintaining 8 hours of sleep every day, good diet, exercising. Sometimes school gets busy, there's a lot of assignments, and so that impacts how consistent I can go to the gym. Or maybe I have to cram for an assignment, and so that ruins my sleep. And so I realized the importance of having good productivity tactics that can help you achieve the same results in much less time, and so you can use that time to maintain these good habits. Now, there are 2 extremely important productivity hacks that I wish I could tell my younger self. So the first is eating the frog. And the frog is basically like the hardest task you have to do, and you want to smash this out first thing in your study session. For example, that might be the essay that's due next week, or if you have an exam coming up, that's doing practice questions. But either way, you want to do these important tasks, which are usually the hardest, first, and not some random task like changing the color of your Notion template or reading the textbook. Basically, you want to do the task that is going to give you the best return on your time. And the second extremely important productivity tip is intermittent fasting. And I don't know if you've done this, but sometimes I would eat a massive meal full of like carbs before I try and study, and I just find that my brain just operates so much more slower because my body is using all that energy to digest the food rather than help me study. So work while fasted. So we've talked about work, health, and study, but another integral part of being a well-rounded student is having a good social circle or relationships. Now, improving your social skills is like a very wishy-washy topic, and ultimately it just involves you putting yourself out there and getting more practice. But if my younger self was watching this, he would want some autistically detailed step-by-step plan of what to do. So here it is. So if you want healthy and meaningful relationships, you want this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And you might be thinking, okay, reading is kind of weird. It's probably not that suited for social skills anyways, because you can't teach yourself that. Well, that's kind of true, because reading just by itself, that's probably not going to do much. But we want to do a different way from everyone else. We want to do reading plus action. And so what I've been doing is I read, for example, a chapter. For example, in this little section, it says, be a good listener, encourage others to talk about themselves. Okay, so I've learned a new tip. Now in my next conversations, I'm going to actively think about this principle and try and include that in my conversations. That is how you progressively really internalize all the lessons inside this book and overall become a much better communicator, friend, and just person in general. The final thing you need to glow up is prioritizing your mental health. Now, you probably just got bored, uninterested, and you want to click off, but I guarantee you, mental health is by far one of the most important things if you want to become a likable person. And I can tell you from experience, when I used to be a very negative person who always complains about everything, guess what? No one wanted to be around me. And whether or not you're a positive person, this comes down to your mental health. Because what you're feeling, what your thoughts are, this radiates out to your tone, your body language, and people do notice. And the most straightforward way to become a healthier and happier person is just to be more grateful. And I know this sounds like one of those mental health exercises or talks they have at school, which no one listens to because it's boring. Yes, I've been there, I understand that. But I guarantee you this will make you into a different person. And so I want this video to actually help you. And so I want you to take this action step right now, which is to list 10 things, just 10 things that you're grateful for. And they don't have to be massive things. In fact, it's better if they're small. For example, I'm grateful for this tripod that's holding the camera that I'm recording on. I'm grateful for the fly screen that I have here, otherwise weird insects fly into my bedroom. And I'm grateful for my parents cooking, my friends for their support. And I find personally, just by focusing on the little things in life and being grateful for them, that puts a lot of other issues that are happening into perspective. And you'll just find that life isn't that bad after all.